Good morning. It's 9 o'clock. On today's programme this morning, police in Tenerife prepared to stage a massive search for the missing teenager Jay Slater almost 2 weeks after he disappeared. It's Saturday, the 29th of June.
Volunteers with experience navigating difficult mountainous terrain have been asked to join the search. We'll have the latest from here in Tenerife.
In other news this morning, Joe Biden says he knows he's not a young man in his first speech since a shaky showdown against Donald Trump.
I don't debate as well as I used to, but I know what I do know. I know how to tell the truth.
Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie. We're just going to start off with the headlines about Jay on Sky News. Then I'll come and talk to you properly. But I just wanted I wanted you to see their headlines. Search will be starting around about now. I'm going to find what information I can. We'll just start off with these headlines while we're waiting for them to start talking about Jay. Thank you so much, everyone, for liking, subscribing. Don't forget to press the like. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to, if you feel like it. And yeah, today's the 13th day in the search for Jay. Will it be, a lucky number, if you like? Anyway, let's listen to this first.
Police in Tenerife have called for volunteers to take part in a large-scale search for the missing teenager Jay Slater today. Well, let's cross live to Tenerife and our communities correspondent, Becky Johnson, who's there for us. Becky, the conditions when we first spoke to you an hour or so ago, pretty bleak and murky. Things look as though they're slightly improving. What is planned over the course of today?
Well, we're up in the mountains. We're really close to the spot where Jay Slater's phone was last traced almost 2 weeks ago. You can see it's incredibly rugged up here. There are sheer drops, there are cliff faces. And so while police are saying for volunteers to come, they want them to be experienced volunteers, people who know this type of terrain. And you can see, if we have a little look behind us, people starting to gather. Now, of course, amongst them, a fair few media here, but you can see in the green there, that's the Guardia Civil, the police. We've also got volunteer firefighters here and local people starting to turn up. And I was speaking to a woman who lives around 40 minutes from here. She said she has a 19-year-old son. And so she felt compelled to come out and join the search for Jay Slater. Now, as I said, the terrain really, really difficult. Fortunately, though, we have people like Juan Garcia here.
Hi.
Now, you're very experienced hiking. What brings you out here today?
Okay, I think for myself, if something happened to one of my sons, and so I would like that as well. The people help me to solve this case. I would like the help of people, because sometimes even with the police, and sometimes it's hard because this is a very difficult area, and you need a lot of experience walking. This is a lot of bushes and very hard to walk, and even in few kilometers it takes a lot of time, and it's not so easy like walking in a normal footpath. This is very technical. There are a lot of stones, very falls of 5, 10, 15 meters high, and very dangerous as well for the people who is looking for.
And you live not too far away. This has been, the disappearance of Jay Slater has been all over the news back home in Britain. But what about locally? Are people here very concerned? Has it been very much in the news, the disappearance of this teenager?
Yes, we have heard the news of this. It's about 2 weeks already, and we know, we are aware, and even we was waiting that they say, okay, volunteers go and give us a hand, because it's the first days it's the most important that you look for it. As the time goes, it's more harder and harder. That's why it's important to look in this moment.
Juan Garcia, you've also got your trusty companion here, Caperucita.
Yes.
Part hunting dog, got a great sniffer dog actually. So you're hoping that she's going to help too.
Yes, because she had a very good smell. It's very hard, and maybe we don't see anything, and she is able to detect things for us.
Thank you very much. So yeah, one of the volunteers that's come out. As I say, it's supposed to be a massive search here. Almost 2 weeks since Jay Slater disappeared in this really treacherous part of the island.
We'll, of course, follow any developments closely. At the moment, though, thank you. And just worth reminding you, of course, that you can get plenty more on that story on the Sky News website and app on your smartphone. In the meantime, the US President Joe Biden said, "I know I'm not a young man and I don't debate as well as I used to, but the 81-year-old insisting he can still do the job and will be running again, despite a
right, I'm going to turn it off now. We don't want to hear about Joe Biden, do we? Okay, so I just wanted to start off with the headlines from Sky News. They're there, and we'll be looking at other people that are there, of course. I'm going to look at another couple of videos we're going to look at of what people like GB News and Talk TV are saying, you know. Also, we're going to look at I'm going to tell you a bit more about the Guardia Civil, because I'm getting a bit sick to death of a lot of people, British people, like even, you know, people are out there and that bit sniffy about the Guardia Civil, as if they don't know what they're doing. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the Guardia Civil. They're not like just a military police. They do lots of different things, as specialised in lots of different things. They're divided into different departments, and the people that are looking after, that are in charge of this search is the GRIEM team, the mountain rescue wing of the Guardia Civil, and they know what they're doing. You know, just because I just don't understand how people who know nothing about Spain whatsoever, know nothing about the way things work, know nothing about the terrain that they're facing there, and think they can go off and do their own thing and not listen to what the police are saying. It's just sort of beyond me. But anyway, so I'm going to be telling you a little bit more about them as well. Now, it just seems obvious to me that the police are convinced that Jay is in this area. Now, you know, I know a lot of people are suspicious. There's all the conspiracy theories. I'm still not down with any of those conspiracy theories. I don't think there's any proof of any conspiracy theory. You know, the evidence as we know it at the moment is that Jay was there. We don't know why he went to that house. We don't know much about that side of things, but really that is Jay's business, why he went to that house. But the thing, to me, I don't think there's anything to lead us to believe that he is not lost somewhere on that mountain. And I just hope today, the 13th day of the search, you can't say lucky for some, because it won't be lucky to find him dead on the mountain, but it will be just lucky to find him and put all these theories to bed, because I think they're really distressing. I mean, I find them distressing, and I'm not even his family. So we're going to start off, first of all, with the GoFundMe, of course, because we like to keep an eye on that. Of course, that's caused so many problems. People aren't happy with the GoFundMe. It hasn't grown much overnight. A lot of small donations. Well, it says 407 people have just made a donation, and they're now on £41,849. There's been no update from Debbie like last night or today. You know, most people, everyone really, in these last few donations that are on there, they've put kind messages. You know, people, obviously, they feel, you know, most of us feel how that would be for us if that was our son, or our brother, or our nephew, etc., who was lost on that mountain. So, yeah, I think the GoFundMe is a bone of contention, but there you go. It's there. People aren't having their arms twisted behind the back to donate money. If they want to donate a fiver of their bank balance, or if they want to donate, like this guy, £600 of their bank balance, then that's their money, and it's up to them. Do what they want with it. It's not up to anybody else to tell them what to do with it, I think. So, and time will tell. You know, the thing is, if this is one great big stage thing, like some people think, how are they going to come out of this? What, Jay's just going to come out of the woods? Like, oh, here I am, you know, I was just wandering around the woods for 13 days with no water, you know, and then Do people really think then people wouldn't notice that? Of course, the other thing that might be going on, there's three possibilities, isn't there? Either Jay did get lost in the woods, and not the woods, on the mountain, which is sort of almost a worst case scenario, isn't it, as far as Jay's family is concerned, because he will, you know, he can't possibly have survived 13 days without water. Or is there foul play? Did those men or anybody else, not necessarily those men that he went back to the house with, anyone could have picked him up, taken him somewhere. You know, we mustn't think that foul play could be anyone, not necessarily even those men. Or the third possibility is it staged? Those are your three possibilities. What else can it be? So, you know, it all depends what you think, really. What you think, everybody's got their views. And as you know, you feel free to air your views on here as long as you don't attack anybody else or me. You know, your hypothesis, your theory is as valid as anybody else's at the moment. But I think we can safely assume that as far as the police are concerned, they are convinced that he is up there on that mountain, aren't they? So we'll see. Will they find him today? I mean, the thing is, they may not find him today. Even with all the people helping, etc., there's no guarantee. It could be months before he's found. You know, this is my fear, that the longer that Jay is not found, with the belief that I have, that I think he is on that mountain somewhere, my fear is that the longer that he is not found, the worse all these crazy sort of rumours are going to go, and all the people being nasty on social media, etc. It's all going to just get worse and worse. So, you know, for me, I just hope to God they do find him, if that, you know, quickly. But there's no guarantee of that. No guarantee that they're going to find him quickly. Okay, so I'm going to say hello to everyone before I get going properly. Hi, David. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Mia. Hi, Rini. Hi, Maggie. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Julie. Ah, yeah, of course. I should have said good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are. Now it's 10:13 here on mainland Spain. It's quite fresh. It's quite nice in the mornings. It's the afternoons where it starts to get really hot and humid. And yeah, it's 10:14 here now. In the Canaries, they have the same time as the UK. So they'll be just getting going with the search and everything, won't they? It's 9:14 there. They need to get off and about before it gets too hot. Don't want to miss anyone coming in. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Truth. Hi, Claire. Hi, Jean. Hi, Bluchy Queen. Thanks for saying hello. Hi, Maggie. I may have said hello to Maggie. Hi, Tracy. Oh, thank you, Kelly. I don't feel very glowing, but I never do. But when it's hot like it is at the moment, I always feel like I've just been dragged through a hedge backwards. Hi, Mello. Hi, Mark. Yeah, the thing about the GoFundMe is it's not obligatory to donate. Just, you know, if people don't want to donate, don't donate. And if people have donated and they're not happy now for whatever reason, they should just ask for a refund. You know, anyway, let's not talk about the GoFundMe anymore. It's so controversial, isn't it? You know what I think? Just ban GoFundMes. That would all help. And then people could make private donations. You know, the GoFundMes that just cause so much trouble. Okay, where am I starting? So let's have a look at a couple of YouTube videos. First one, I think, is from GB News. I'll tell you, I have to watch these because even though they're a bit ridiculous, I think, but I just have to see these people, you know, being so condescending about social media and not realizing they are social media themselves, and they cause more conspiracy theories than anything. Anyway, oh, this one. So this one is GB News. Now, the trouble, oh, Anne Diamond, I don't know what, I always used to like her many years ago when she was on ITV or whatever, but she's just turned into one of these people just talking rubbish. This guy, I can't remember his name, but he used to be on Sky News and I quite liked him on there.
But it's
I don't know how he
Jay
ended up on
Slater's best
GB
friend.
News. But anyway, let's see what they've got to say. Why now? Suspicions raised as Jay Slater's best friend claims he slipped. But they're not doing conspiracy theories. No. They don't do conspiracy theories. It's only social media TikTokers that do that. See what they've got to say.
Has claimed he saw him slipping on rocks during a video call on the day he vanished in Tenerife.
And police are now calling for specialist volunteers to take part in a new large-scale search, as, of course, that search enters its 13th day.
Let's talk to the former head of Lambeth Missing Persons Unit, Mike Neville. Good to see you again, Mike. What do you make of this new claim that's been put forward?
Well, it's I've got to say it continues the view of the Spanish police that he actually got lost and has gone missing. There's been all sorts of speculation that there was some kind of drugs involvement in this or a kidnap. And of course, the police will look at every single lead. But what we have here now is another friend coming forward, seemingly with no ulterior motive, to say, look, I had a video call, I could see his feet, he was sliding down some rocks. Why it's taken so long for him to come forward, I don't know. But obviously this just gives more credence to the theory that he was on his own and some kind of accidents happened. And of course, at 10 o'clock UK time, the Spanish police are launching an even more a larger search, as you've indicated. So I think the Spanish police are sticking with their original theory. No doubt they're looking into every other possibility, but this seems to be what they think has happened to Jay.
Yeah, I mean, there's an awful lot of fevered speculation now in the press, and some serious investigative reporters have been out there looking at the sort of drugs angle, and did he mix in with the wrong people? Did he become a victim? Or
when she says serious investigative reporters, of course, she means Mark Williams-Twong.
Did he try to do something himself and end up running from them? We simply don't know. But at the same time, the police are still launching this massive manhunt. So we don't really know whether they're looking inward or outward. But clearly, money is still being spent in vast amounts now on a search that if he really did just go missing, 13 days on, he can't be alive, can he?
I just want to say as well that this invitation that the Guardia have put out to people to help search, they have never, ever done that before. This is a first. So that's interesting, isn't it? So I really do think they are convinced he is there for whatever reason. Well, for the reasons that we know from the messages he sent his friend, etc., what he told Lucy, you know, and they think that. I think that's definitely the police's first hypothesis. Now, they keep saying everything's on the table, you know, they're not ruling anything out, but you can just tell from their actions that obviously is their primary hypothesis, isn't it? Because they have never, ever asked people to help in a search before, so that is very interesting.
Yeah, and I think that's probably right, unless he's fallen in with some kind of hermit or something like that. We can only hope and pray for his parents and family that he's still alive, but it would seem, of course, very unlikely because the clothing he was wearing is neither suited to a very hot day or a very cold night. And the terrain that we see there, you know, there's so many hidden places, not only behind rocks in caves, but also in vegetation, trees and the like. So this is why they're calling on volunteers. And of course, the whole island's tourism, that's what dominates their economy. So for the highest levels of the government there, they'll want a conclusion to this to show that people are safe on the island, and that the police will do everything in their power to try and find anybody who's gone missing. But I'm just looking at the images you're showing, it's the vastness of the place. And this is why I think the Spanish police are really thinking we've got to do something now. Get as many volunteers as possible and try and bring this to some conclusion. And at least whatever happens, let's hope there's some kind of ending for the parents. But as I've said, I think the Spanish police are really sticking with the idea that he went missing by accident. But of course, they'll be looking at every other possibility as well.
Okay, Mike, thanks very much indeed. You can only hope they find him one way or another in all of this, just for the sake of the family.
Yeah, yeah.
But, you know...
But still, I mean, the rumours and the theories and...
Yeah, just listen to what she says now. You just think, oh, for God's sake, take a look at yourself.
You know, the armchair sleuths, the internet sleuths, as they're calling them, are coming up with so many wild ideas. But some of which, as I say, you know, there's quite a few of the newspapers today, they've sent serious investigative reporters over there. And something is very strange.
It doesn't seem...
So she says, oh, the armchair sleuths are doing this, that and the other. And then she goes, but something is very strange. She's creating suspicion and armchair. She talks about armchair sleuths. What difference is she to an armchair sleuth? She's on a YouTube news channel that is not exactly famous for its accuracy, and just winds me up. And referring to, it's just suddenly hit me what one of my chatters said it, and I think they're right. It's the Sun newspaper that sent Mark Williams Thomas out to Tenerife. Maybe the family aren't paying him, but he'd be being paid one way or another. He isn't doing it out of the goodness of his heart. And of course, he made that fake press conference, you know, exclusive for the Sun. That's where all this comes from, those kind of rag newspapers. That's why he's there. He's not there for the family.
Quite right, does it? But it's...
But you don't
It's that fine line between having to examine all possibilities, but also sort of stringing out false hope as well. And I don't know how you find a balance with that.
Yeah, he's a bit more measured, isn't he, in what he says? Okay, now we're going to have a look at another... I mean, you probably think, why are you even showing these? But I do think it's interesting to see these sort of pseudo news channels trying to make out there's something more than just YouTubers, because they're not.
About the Jay Slater case, and after that we'll go to break, and after that we're going to be taking your calls. A lot of you ringing in, and I'll read some of your messages as well. A lot of messages, a lot of WhatsApps, and a lot of you ringing in about the reform story on Channel 4. Was it dodgy or was it not? We really don't know yet, and Channel 4 have not established 100% that there may not be many more questions to ask about this. So that after the break. So get your calls in if you want to be involved. 0344 499 1000. Now, Pete, Jay Slater, it was last Monday week that he went missing. He'd been at a music festival in, I think, Los Cristianos, and played as America, the holiday area of Tenerife. He apparently went off with two guys, British guys. These people are mysterious. Said to be black guys in their 30s. And
I mean, come on. Oh my God, I was so angry when I heard that. So he said, these guys are suspicious. What makes you say they're suspicious? You don't know that they're suspicious. The police have spoken to them. The police have let them go home. What makes you say they're suspicious? I mean, maybe they are, but he doesn't know. And then he refers to them as two black guys. So he brings their colour into it. God, it's just awful, this channel.
Mysterious. Said to be black guys in their 30s. and they went to their place, allegedly, which is this villa in a very remote part of the northern part of the island.
Yeah.
The following morning at 8 a.m., he rang his friend Lucy and said he left the house. He missed the bus. There was a bus back there, and he was going to walk. But his phone was running out of power. He cut his leg on a cactus and was feeling dehydrated. That was thought to be the very last time anyone heard of him. But stories emerged today from this guy, Brad, who said he phoned me while he was in the process of falling down some sort of...
Now, a lot of people are wondering why has this story always come out now, and I agree that only come out now. But that doesn't mean to say that Brad didn't tell the police about it right at the beginning. You know, we just don't know. A part of the problem is because the police they haven't done a press conference. The Guardia Civil don't communicate anything when they're investigating. And going back to those two men that Jay went back to the apartment with, you know, if I was them, you wouldn't want to be all over social media, would you? Have you seen what everybody's saying about Jay's parents and Jay and the family? You certainly would not want to be identified, would you? And have all these bloody nasty people on social media. Now, of course, there are lots of lovely people on social media that are supporting Jay's family. And you know what? At the end of the day, if they're proved wrong in the end in Jay's family or Jay, there is some sort of thing like with Shannon Matthews or Karen. Then at the end of the day, you've done the right thing. You know, the nice people have done the right thing. You can't let people put you off because sometimes it will be a family that really needs help. You know, so people have to do what their own moral compass tells them to do. And if it turns out that somebody else is a twonk who's been using them, misleading them, well, that's their issue, isn't it? If you've just done the best you can at least sleep at night knowing you've done the best you can. You haven't lied to anyone. You haven't tried to defraud anybody. If somebody else does that, that's their own personal responsibility they have to deal with. But if I was either of these two guys that Jay's supposedly gone off with for whatever reason, there's a myriad reasons that Jay might have gone off with those men. And, you know, a lot of them, you know, they really are not really our business. Jay's private life is his own business as well. But would you, if you were one of them, want to be blasted all over social media? I certainly wouldn't.
Shingle slope. So the theory, I mean, first of all, these two guys, who are they?
Exactly.
Why have we not heard of them or from them? Why are the police not saying anything? We just keep hearing two British guys. I mean,
they could be. It is ridiculous, and I like the word you used before we went to the break. Vacuum. I find it fascinating that because this is a multi-agency search for one person on an island that, let's be real, is not the biggest. There has not been one major news conference from any department.
That is really, you pointed that, and it's a very good point. Why are they not appealing to the public?
Exactly.
That's usually an international.
Well, they've just appealed to the public, you idiot, because they've got a search going out today that they've asked the public to go on. But they don't do press conferences. They've probably only done this because of pressure from the British press and everybody. Why do people think that, you know, the British police couldn't find Madeleine McCann? They didn't find Nicola Bulley for 23 days. Well, they didn't even find her then. Who have they? You know, they're not exactly got the best record on finding people. So why does everyone think, or not everyone, but why do a lot of people think that as if, you know, the British police got involved, there'd be this magic wand that they would produce and suddenly Jay would appear out of nowhere, like summoned, you know, like they're suffering from bloody Harry Potter, summoning him with a wand from the bushes. It's just, you know, please stop. He doesn't know anything about the Spanish police. Spain is a very, very modern European country. It's more than just a tourist destination. There's more to Spain than just beaches and sangria. You know, I do feel they treat Spain like they're some sort of Keystone Cops or something.
National trait of coppers.
Exactly. And, you know, I find it interesting that it's 3 or 4 different agencies all working together, and not one of them thought, you know what we should do? Maybe to stop these conspiracies, to maybe kind of get some help, talk to the public. I find that very fascinating. And I don't know if that's standard in Spanish authorities. I don't personally don't know. I'd be interested to find out. But yeah, that's one of the reasons that, you know, the internet has gone mental in all these different theories. But I do think conspiracy theories, again, I think you're right. That's not the right word, because people are, you know, some of it is mad. But I think there are important questions that people are asking.
Yeah, and he was said to be sort of highly inebriated at this last dance he was seen, and he does have something of a checkered past.
Yes,
he's got a conviction for violence back here, but apparently he's a sort of apprentice bricklayer now.
Yeah,
or something.
Yeah. Apparently, this holiday was to celebrate him coming off community release. Or
Okay, well there you go. Okay, so here's another theory. This is that Jay and
Now that's interesting what you just said there, because I hadn't heard that before. I don't know if it's true because it's just him saying it. That this holiday was supposed to, what did he say, to celebrate him coming off community, whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Apparently, this holiday was to celebrate him coming off community release. Or something.
So apparently it was. Now, what is that true, or is he just making that up? You know, who knows? Because I think they on this they make up things. I don't know that that's true. I'd have to confirm that. But of course, he has got a checkered past. I think a lot of this is because he's got a checkered past. I think if Jay was some lad who hadn't got this past, I don't think there would have been such a furore, so many wild possibilities about what might have happened to him. And then maybe one of those wild possibilities is true. But as I say, personally, my instinct is telling me it isn't. But then, you know, I could be wrong, and I'm quite open to admit I could be wrong. But if Jay was just some ordinary young lad who'd never been in trouble with the police on his first holiday abroad, it'd be a whole different way of looking at it, wouldn't it? It's because of Jay's past that people are saying all these things.
Well, there you go. Okay, so here's another theory. This is that Jay and Lucy, this girl who, by the way, set up a GoFundMe and immediately raised very quickly about £32,000. And that has remained inactive ever since. To be fair, GoFundMe have said it is above board.
Yes,
but it seems a bit strange. You know, why would you raise £32,000?
Thank you, Jane, for the super sticker. Thank you so much. And welcome, Nicola. We'll be welcoming you properly on next Thursday. So, yeah, where are we now? Saturday. In the members live. Thanks for becoming a member. We look forward to welcoming you there. If you can't make the live, you can always watch it on catch up. What we sing you a little song to welcome you. Okay, but thank you so much for joining.
Pounds when you know the police are looking. Anyway, this is another theory that Jay was a drug mule, that he came to Tenerife to meet an associate, and indeed he was given a backpack of packets of pills worth an estimated £17,000, and that when he phoned Lucy, I suppose Lucy could or could not confirm this, although I can tell you we tried to phone her and she kept saying, I'm too tired. So something all a bit strange. Anyway, this associate is saying that Lucy got a phone call from Jay at 3 a.m. crying because he'd lost the bag.
Hey, you get a little idea that, so they've tried to contact Lucy and Lucy just kept saying she was too tired. That's all a bit strange, according to them, because she won't talk to them. Now, I don't know. Lucy might be the biggest twonk you've ever met. I don't even know Lucy. You know, everyone's saying she's a drug mule, she's this, she's that. Again, where's the evidence? Until I see evidence of that. You think the police are not looking into that? Of course they are. Is there anything anybody has said in conspiracy theories? The police will have looked at it as well. You know, they're not just going to take Lucy's word for everything.
When he phoned Lucy, I suppose Lucy could or could not confirm this, although I can tell you we tried to phone her and she
She wouldn't talk to them, so they're pissed off about that.
He kept saying, I'm too tired, I'm too tired. So something all a bit strange. Anyway, this associate is saying that Lucy got a
just to add to the fuel of the conspiracy theories, why don't you?
phone call from Jay at 3 a.m. crying because he'd lost the bag, which would indicate that somehow or other he may have fallen foul of.
Yeah. So now they're actually saying that he's phoned at some point in the morning saying he's lost the bag. Might indicate he's fallen foul of drug people. Well, do you know what? Maybe he did. But it's not up to this twonk to tell the world that. Again, if the police are... Do you think the police don't know about that phone call? Do you think the police aren't investigating those men that were... Just unbelievable how this guy can sit here on some pseudo news channel and just make statements like that, casting aspersions. That they always say that people on social media, we're supposed to be the ones that are, you know, spreading these conspiracy theories. It's not, it's these people on these, because these are like pretending to be proper news channels. I'm not even pretending to be a proper news channel. My channel is Vicky Marie Chats. We're chatting, but I only deal with facts. That's for sure. I might tell people what people are saying, but as far as I'm concerned, I don't believe anything until I see the evidence for it. And he is just stirring up conspiracy theories, I think.
Nefarious types who might have punished him.
Well, it is important to remember that those groups of islands have a notorious reputation for being involved in gang culture, kind of mafia style culture. So, you know, that one...
Now, it's true. There's a lot of drugs, obviously, on Tenerife. There's a lot of drugs everywhere you go, especially holiday destinations, rave destinations. You know, that rave culture revolves around drugs, doesn't it? But that still doesn't mean to say that Jay was involved in it. You know, as I say, until somebody tells me officially he was, I'm not having that.
Is something to this one, if I'm being brutally honest, because of that element within Tenerife and surrounding islands. But I think this is, out of all of them that I've seen, this is the one I think has got a significant whiff of credibility.
Yeah. What was he up to no go, or did he fall in with bad types? I mean, you know, Playa de las Americas, Los Cristianos are awash with drugs. I mean, you know, drug dealers, you know, whether or not it's a big deal or a small deal, if you don't pay up, they tend to be rather harsh in their punishment, in their retribution. So was it maybe a small deal that he didn't pay for or something like that? I mean, you know, well,
he seems to know a lot about what drug dealers do or what they don't do. But in some ways, he's right. But it still doesn't take away from the fact he's just talking out of his backside because he doesn't know this. He's had no official confirmation of this. He's just spreading rumours, and you know that's fair enough if he even just admitted that. But there'll probably be, you know, this the Talk TV and GB News and those kind of, they're sort of pseudo news channels. They try and pretend to be proper news channels, but they literally are not. I wouldn't even make things up as much as these guys do. And I'm Vicky Marie Chats. We're just chatting. We're chatting as if you could be sat here with me, or we could be in the pub chatting. That's the purpose of my channel. Anyone who doesn't know about it's not supposed to be, although I only sort of deal in facts, it's not like, how can I explain it? I'm not even trying to be like a proper sort of news channel or whatever. I'm just here chatting about things, and especially a case like Jay's, which I've covered it right from when it first started on the very first day. It wasn't even big news then, and it just drew to my attention, obviously, because it was Spain, and I am in Spain. So, you know, that's why I started covering Jay's case. Now everyone's jumped on the bandwagon. Everybody's covering Jay's case now. And I will stick with it right until Jay is found, because I don't let go of cases. And I've become consumed with this. It's like I do when there's a case going on, and it's like an obsession until there's some sort of resolution one way or another. But these are supposed to be, are they a news channel or aren't they? To me, they're not. They're just might as well be called chat Chat TV. I mean, maybe that's what they'll say, that they're just talking. I don't know. Are they a news channel? What are they supposed to be? Or do they want to be more reputable?
One doesn't want to fear the worst, but you know, tomorrow will be the 13th day of this search.
Yeah.
Unlucky for some, unlucky for Jay. And you know, with every passing moment, you think, well, you fear the worst, don't
Yeah,
you?
of course you do. And I just find it fascinating that in 2024, a person is just able to vanish.
Yeah.
Without any trace. That's the thing that I find interesting. Without any major trace of them.
Yeah.
I said that I thought the same thing when the doctor went missing. You know, the TV doctor.
Yeah.
I was like,
Michael Mosley.
right, that's the one. I was like, how do you go missing?
Yeah, well, look what happened there. He just took a wrong turn. He was literally, he'd collapsed and died literally a couple of minutes from being saved. Things do happen. I think sometimes conspiracy theorists, they think everything is a conspiracy. Sometimes weird things do happen. People do silly things. You know, like Michael Mosley, there you go, a 60-odd-year-old doctor who should have known better, wandering around a Greek island in the full heat of the day. You know, people do daft things. Not everything is a conspiracy. Young lads go off. Maybe he did go off to take drugs. Maybe there are drugs, but there's no evidence to say that he went off with those guys and they've murdered him or over drugs. There's nothing to say that. So sorry. And from when I watched Brad's interview, in fact, I'm going to show it again in a minute. I thought he seemed perfectly, you know, it didn't feel like he was lying or anything like that. It's just a young daft lad worrying about his friend. They were thinking it was hilarious at first. Oh, look where I am, you know, I've got lost, and it was probably just a big joke. And then the next phone call he had with Lucy, it was all a bit more serious, wasn't it? Because he realised he just didn't even know where he was.
How is that possible that, you know, there's not a CCTV camera or just anything of your image or something in this day and age?
But this one is more mysterious than Michael Mosley. I mean, so which makes you feel or makes you speculate that he may have been, something bad happened to him and he's deliberately been hidden.
Yes. For sure. Given if you throw in the drugs element of it wouldn't surprise me.
Well, anyway, I mean, give us a call if you like. I mean, God knows what's going on out there, but it gets more sad by the day. And for all we've just been talking about, of course, everyone keeps their fingers crossed that Jay will be found alive and well. But that mystery, as I say, like all mysteries, they become more mysterious by the moment. I mean, as you say,
well, that's true. It is a mystery. That's why I just hope one way or another he is found to put an end to it all, because it is a mystery. And for the longer that Jay is not found, the bigger mystery it will be. You know, you wish that you could have a contact within the Guardia Civil. I'm going to go, well, they won't talk to me. I know they won't, but I am going to have a go. I'm going to show you a bit about the Guardia Civil in a minute. We just watch the end of this, then we'll have a little listen to Brad talking, and then we're going to have a look at the Guardia Civil.
13 days and not a single sign. Massive police search. And the other thing I was going to say is I felt the story, you know, he went off to a very remote part of the island where it's very difficult to find people.
Here we go.
You know, all seemed a bit convenient.
Yeah, definitely.
So lots of this is an evening for unanswered questions. There's a lot of unanswered questions in Tenerife, but fingers crossed they'll find Jay and he's okay. We certainly hope that for the sake of his poor parents who've flown out there to help.
Yeah, we do. In fact, to be honest, the best case scenario is he's been kidnapped by some drug lords because he might possibly be still alive. But I'm just, you know, everyone's got their own theories. Everyone's entitled to their own theories, but also I'm entitled to my own theory, which I personally think they will find him. God knows when, but they will. There was something else I was going to say there. Yeah, so don't forget the police will have tracked his phone. They'll know that where he went, that he went from Los Americanos up to Masca. They'll have tracked it to that last phone ping, didn't they? But of course they don't know somebody else threw his phone there, do they? You know, that's what they've got to until they actually find the phone or find some trace of Jay. they're struggling. They are struggling. Right, let me just put some windows down, and we're going to have, I think we'll have another little look at Brad's interview. Let's see what you think of it. I personally think Brad came over as if he was telling the truth, to be honest.
The police say they are.
So, yeah, that was Brad again. So, yeah, Maggie, I understand what you're saying. You feel like I've made my mind. I have made my mind up on the evidence that I've got at the moment. If some other evidence comes out of anything else, then maybe I'll change my mind. But at this point in time where I am, the fact that the police are constantly, don't forget they've got all the information that we haven't got, and they're still convinced that he's in that area. So now they may not think necessarily that it's an accident. Maybe they think that something has been done to him, but they think he's in that area, that's for sure. So, but for me, because of the video from Brad of him slipping down the slope, the phone, you just have to sort of decide, do you believe Lucy when he said that he was running out of water and he sounded panicked and he said he didn't know where he was? Do you believe Brad? To me, I think Brad came over honest. I don't know. So, but I don't know. We'll see. Could be more evidence comes out literally tomorrow, and I might change completely what I think. But that's where I am at the moment. That's all. But everybody is entitled to their theory. I wouldn't poo-poo anyone's theory too. Everyone's entitled to their theory. But that's what we have to understand. We're all entitled to our theory, our hypothesis, based on whatever evidence we have up to now. So what was it? So just what she was talking about then, about the British hiker, the British TikToker, Paul. He's put a post on. So let's have a look what he's had to say this morning. Sorry, I'm going sound.
It's currently 8:30 in the morning. I've woken up a bit late, guys. But we're going to head up here. We're going to see who's up here. I'm going to wait for someone to drive past. And I'm going to hitchhike away up to the top, guys. But today is supposed to be really productive. Loads of people.
Sounds a bit tired, doesn't he? I bet he is tired. He's been there. He hasn't been there the whole 13 days. I think this is his 8th or 9th day that he's been there. He must be knackered. I mean, I know he's fit and I know that's, what he does, but he just never stops, does he? Bless him.
People said they're coming up. There was just a family down the bottom here. And I thought they were searching. I was like, oh, yes, you guys have come to search. And they were like, what? No. So hopefully people are going to turn up, guys. I've heard a few people from social media are going to fly over. So I know those guys are coming out. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I think it's going to be a really good day today. Really big team effort, guys. Let's do our best. Let's go find Jay. My throat is really sore as well.
Oh, it doesn't sound very
so much
well.
love, guys. So much love.
Yeah, he sounds a bit breathy, doesn't he? So maybe he's picked up because he's been in all those different. One minute it's hot, then it's cold, then it's raining, then so it's a very the climate up on that mountain is awful as well. Changeable. Even if it was just hot all the time, at least you'd know how to dress properly or whatever. But it's not. It changes and changes, and it's humid, and then it's windy, and so I hope he's okay. Let's just watch that one more time. Again, just look. I mean, his videos have been so brilliant. I'm so glad he went there because he has given us this unique view of this terrain that's been searched. And you just think. I think like your head says to you, why would Jay have gone down there? But I don't think you can reason with you can put yourself in the mind of a 19-year-old who's been on a rave for 3 days and has been taken God knows what or drank God knows what. You can't put yourself in their head because obviously logically you wouldn't set off down there. But Jay's done it. I think. But anyway, we'll find out one way or another sooner or later. I think we will find out. I hope so. I hope it's not one of them cases that in a year we're still talking about it.
So guys, it's day 8 for looking for missing Jay. Now it's currently 8:30 in the morning. I've woken up a bit late, guys, but we're gonna head up here. We're gonna see who's up here. I'm gonna wait for someone to drive past, and I'm gonna hitchhike away up to the top, guys. But today is supposed to be really productive. Loads of people said they're coming up. There was just a family down the bottom here, and I thought they were searching. I was like, oh yes, you guys have come to search. And they were like, what? No. So hopefully people are going to turn up, guys. I've heard a few people from social media are going to fly over, so I know those guys are coming out. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I think it's going to be a really good day today. Really big team effort, guys. Let's do our best. Let's go find Jay. My throat is really sore as well. But so much love, guys. So much love.
Yeah, so I hope he's okay. He needs to look after himself, and you know, if he can't do it, he needs to maybe take it a bit easy. I hope a car does come past and give him a lift. I hope a car does come past. Okay. Right, so now I want to just show you, I hope you, about a little bit about the Guardia, because, you know, there's a lot of things mentioned about the police, you know, the Spanish police. And I just want to show you who the Guardia Civil that are looking. Now, there are 3 police forces in Spain. There's the Policía Nacional. They deal with more international things, serious crime. They deal with drugs and things like that, but international, etc., murder, you know, they deal with the more serious crime. So the most serious police force in Spain is the Policía Nacional. Then you've got the Guardia Civil, who, yes, at one time, people call them the civil guard, but they are the police. The Guardia Civil at one time, they were almost the private, well, not private, but almost the bodyguards of Franco. You know, when Spain was a dictatorship, Franco was in charge after they came out of the Civil War. The Guardia Civil were then, you know, really almost like an armed enforcer police. And they literally would shoot people for speaking in Catalan, or, you know, they would do the firing squads and the this, that and the other. You know, they were really sort of scary and not very nice. But don't forget, Franco died like years ago. Spain's been a democracy since 79, I think. So, you know, you're looking back sort of 60 years. You can't keep thinking, sorry, not 60 years, 40 odd years. You can't keep thinking that the civil guard are like that. But they deal with lots of different things. And of course, they're much more modern now than they used to be. Maybe in some like villages and things like that, they're not allowed to go out and shoot people now, put it that way. They have to go through a legal process. A lot of people in Spain, a lot of the older generation, they sort of, you know, liked it under Franco, or they have these fond memories of what it was like under Franco, because there was hardly any crime, because everyone was too terrified to commit a crime, as they normally are under a dictatorship. But of course, King Juan Carlos brought into Spanish democracy, and it's been a democracy ever since, even though King Juan Carlos, he's in disgrace, in exile in South America somewhere. Anyway, so I just want to show you what they do. So there's all different, so even within the Guardia Civil, there's lots of different, you've got the citizens security Guardia Civil. So this first one here, so they're like just, you know, that you'd find in your town. Every town has a Guardia Civil station, a cuartel it's called. They've got a little prison, little cells in there and what have you, and you know, they can keep people in there, but not normally overnight, but sometimes. So that's like your citizen security. Then you've got the Guardia Civil Tráfico, which they do the road traffic, you know, control. They're normally on motorbikes. they never let you get away with anything, let me tell you. If you ever get stopped by them and you haven't got your seatbelt on, or, you know, they're really strict, I know that from experience. But what I find with the Guardia Civil is it's probably the same as British police or any police force. Depends if you're lucky on the day who stops you, what it is you're getting stopped for. You know, I've been stopped for not having a seatbelt on, and, you know, by a really nasty guy once who insisted on giving me a fine, and I didn't have any money on me. I had to go to a cash point and get the money out. He marched me to a cash point. I think my card wouldn't work and I had to borrow some money off someone. Anyway, he wanted the money straight away because I wasn't a resident then. It was years and years ago, you can imagine, probably only a couple of years after I came to Spain. And if you're not a resident, they won't give you a ticket. They want the money there and then, because you could be going off on a flight the next day back to your country. So they will literally take you to a cash point to get the money out, or and if you don't pay because you haven't got the money, they take your vehicle away. So they can be like really sort of strict. But then another day, you might get someone who's not so nasty, and they might just give you a warning and say, don't let me see you without a seatbelt on again, blah, 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 blah. So it all depends who you get on the day. So that's another section of the Guardia Civil. Then you've got the Guardia Civil that controls guns and things like that, because guns are legal in Spain, but you need a license. You have to go to the town hall, apply for it, etc. So you've got the Guardia Civil that deals with that. Then you've got the anti-terrorists, the fight against anti-terrorists, Guardia section of the Guardia Civil. So this is all one umbrella of the Guardia Civil, but all the different sections of it. Then you've got the criminal section, like the forensic section. Then this is a very important section, this violencia de género. So that is like gender violence section. It's relatively new. And it's a big thing in Spain at the moment. They are so because they've had a terrible history of domestic violence in Spain against women. And they're really trying to deal with it. They've made some really dramatic laws over the past 10, 15 years to try and, you know, I don't know if it's working or not. But if a crime is declared as violencia de género, you know, as actual violence doesn't have to be against a woman, it's gender violence. So it could be, if it's declared as being, that is like top priority, and then it's dealt with by these people. And any of you who follow my channel regularly, you know, when we talked about Anna Knežević, her case was referred. So they must have known really right from the beginning that it was her husband or a estranged husband that had done something to Anna Knežević, because immediately, do you remember when I went to Madrid and I was told it had been referred to the violencia de género, and then it's just completely secret. You could, you know, they wouldn't give any information. So that's another section of the Guardia Civil. Then they've got territorial integrity. I suppose is that like immigration and things. They've got the sea department in El Mar. They've got the air department in the air with the helicopters, etc. And then the people that are dealing with this case en la montaña. So the section of the Guardia Civil that are dealing with this case of Jay Slater, or probably the air department, as well as the mountain search department. Let's just have a look at that. So yeah, so they're the ones there. This is the people that are dealing with it, and they deal with rescuing people, investigating accidents, conserving nature, citizen security, as if it's anything to do with the mountains. So people who go up into the mountains hiking, blah de blah de blah, whatever people do up in the mountains, or sport that they do in the mountains, this department deals with that. And they deal with collaboration in the prevention of accidents or the promotion of safety in the mountains. So they are the people that are dealing with Jay's case, mainly, because of course they're searching for him on the mountain. Let me just go back now. So, medio ambiente, that's like the environment. So they've got a department that deals specifically with the environment. They've got Orden Público. They've got a department that deals especially with public order. They go in and break up demonstrations and things. They've got protection of altas personalidades. That's like protection of high-profile people. So I suppose if Rishi Sunak or somebody went to Spain, they would be the police that were in charge of making sure of their safety. Delinquencia informatica. So they've even got an department that deals with delinquency online. They've got desactivación artefacto, so that's like bomb disposal. And they've got protección de edificios, protection of buildings. So, you know, they've got a very comprehensive set of departments within the umbrella of the Guardia Civil, which is, so the Guardia Civil is a big organization. It's got all these different sections within it. And interestingly enough, for anybody who's interested, I didn't realize, but you can go into it in English as well. You go onto the Guardia Civil website, and then at the bottom here, you can go into the English version. Specialities of the Guardia Civil. And here they all are: public safety, road traffic, environmental protection, air service, remount and dog handling service. I don't know what EOD and CBRN stand for. I hate initials. Maritime service, mountain rescue, underwater search, intelligence, criminal investigation, customs and borders, security and standby, special intervention unit, rural action unit, underground unit, weapons and explosives inspectorate, international missions, cavalry, equipment and weapons service, and information technologies. You can, you know, go into any of those. I'm going to have a little look at the mountain. Oh, it's on page 12. Let's see. So, the Mountain Rescue Service. The specific mission of the Mountain Rescue Service consists in carrying out those tasks assigned to the Guardia Civil in mountain areas or in other locations that, due to their difficult orographic or climatological characteristics, require special physical and technical skills and the use of appropriate technical equipment. And this specific mission comprises the following basic tasks: to provide assistance to the injured, lost or isolated people in mountain areas or in places of difficult access, to look after the enforcement of the environmental protection laws in high mountain areas, to ensure safety and compliance with the legislation in force in these areas, to carry out surveillance and prevention tasks, and to maintain. Oh, I'm not even sharing it, sorry. Oh God, did I not share any of that? Oh, when did I stop? Did I share? I think I shared the other bit, did I? Where am I going? I'm going page 12. I always forget to share, don't I? I always forget to share. Anyway, so if you are interested in knowing more about the Guardia Civil, about the police in Spain and what they do, so those are all those different specialities that they have. You know, they're not just like Keystone Cops, like sometimes I think these British reporters try and make out that they are. It drives me absolutely mad, as if they're not capable. Hi, Rustic. Let me just see what I've missed. Okay, so I hope you're all, enjoying chatting on there. I can't keep up with the chat because there's too many of them. I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm glad there's a lot of you on there, and thank you too, because a lot of you watching at home I can see. So hello to you and thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, as David says. Thank you so much. So yeah, so the Guardia Civil, they're very specialised in many different departments. So just need to be aware of that. Okay, I'm just going to have a look to see if there's any news. Yeah, I mean, I will keep on this all day. Don't worry about that. I'll be on it all day trying to see if there's any news. Well, I say that I am going out for lunch today, but I will still be looking. About every 5 minutes, I'm looking for news on this case all the time. Just checking to see if there's anything. Let me just see if there's anything on the Spanish news. So yeah, if you want to know more about the Guardia Civil, you can go on their website, and it does tell you in English as well what all their different departments that they do, etc. Where am I? Right, let's just see if there's anything new. Right, I noticed on there somebody was talking about the latest news in the Sun. So let's have a look at it. Remember, we don't know. Anyway, let's see what they say, because I haven't actually read this yet. So let's have a look. Fears for Jay. So fresh mystery, according to the Sun. We know how reliable they are, don't we? As Jay Slater cops investigate the theft of Rolex hours before the team vanished amid final push search today. So cops investigating it. Now this was talked about, wasn't it, a while ago? The Rolex. It was probably. God, I've lost track of days, but early last week or this week, there was talk about this Rolex watch that he may have gone back to their house to try and steal it. But again, I don't know that that's true. But yeah, they were definitely talking about that. It's just as possible as anything else, I suppose. So they go through the whole story. So Jay was seen partying at a club in Tenerife before a fight is said to have broken out outside, involving a Rolex, as cops probe the fresh lead. So let's see. A fight is said to have broken out outside the Papagayo Beach Club, where Jay was seen partying on the 17th of June, shortly before it closed. Sorry. An Eastern European man involved in the scuffle allegedly had his pricey Rolex watch stolen. So what they're saying, that Jay stole it. So we've had two black men. God, the xenophobia. Two black men, an Eastern European man. It's unclear exactly how Jay's disappearance might be linked to the incident. In other words, it's not linked to the incident at all, probably. But they are reporting, the detectives are reportedly examining CCTV footage from the security cameras. I'm just wondering where this news might have come from, or who this news might have come from. Well, they will have to investigate everything. That's true. One of Jay's pals, who was flown to Tenerife to help in the search, told detectives the alleged theft may have led to the Lancashire lad wandering off on his own to try and find the watch. Oh, come on. Then it's just going through all the other things. So, yeah, do you think, I don't necessarily think that is really relevant, do you? Or maybe it is. The police will tell us when they finally decide to say anything. Oh, look at the doggy. So it looks like they've got dogs there today. Let's have a look at this.
Police in Tenerife have announced a massive search operation for missing Jay Slater and are calling on volunteers to join in. The search has been organised to start at 9 AM tomorrow in the area around the village of Masca, where the 19-year-old was last seen on June 17. The police appeal seeks only volunteer professionals, including firefighters and civil protection workers, as well as those with expertise in the type of rough terrain officers have been working in. The development comes after Jay's best friend back in the UK revealed he had been on a video call with his pal before he disappeared and had heard him go off the road. Brad Hargreaves told ITV's This Morning they had gone over a drop and he could see his friend's feet sliding down the hill. He also could hear Jay was...
Oh, Brad just comes over with me as a typical daft 19-year-old. He's just, like he says, he's just come out of a festival himself. Neither of them were really, they're probably even on a good day. They're not exactly with it as 19-year-old lads, like, you know, and after a 3-day festival, they're going to be totally... I think Brad just looks like he don't know what's hit him. He just can't believe this is happening. They wouldn't have taken it seriously at all, I think. And then maybe that's when unfortunately, then Jay was just overconfident, maybe thinking he could get back.
Walk. I don't know if it's accurate or not.
Yeah.
So I said to him, well, it's only a 15-minute drive, get a taxi.
Why didn't he get a taxi? Because even if he didn't have any money, would he have known somebody back at the apartment who they could have clubbed together and paid for his taxi? I'm sure if he would have rung his mum, she would have put some money in his account or whatever. You know, that's because these days you just send the money instantly, don't you? If that was my son, I would say to him, get a taxi. And when you get there and you have to pay the taxi driver, just tell me how much it is and I'll send the money over. Why didn't he get, maybe there was nowhere to get a taxi. You know, just looking at him now, you just don't know. But I do think both him and Brad and all the young people that were at that fiesta, none of it at that rave, none of them are going to be, you know, 100% sharp, are they?
The dramatic development fits with the police's working theory that Jay may have gotten into trouble while hiking in the mountainous area. He told the programme that Jay didn't seem concerned during the call, adding that he still has hope for Jay and says he's praying for him to come home.
Okay. I think that's all. You know, I keep checking for that one last bit of maybe news, or, you know, I don't want to miss anything coming in, but I will be glued to the news one way or another today. Even when I go out for lunch and that, I'll be looking to see if there's been any developments. Yeah. Will he be found today? Let's hope so. You know, I don't hold out a lot of hope that he will be found in one piece or alive, but I do hold out hope that he will be found. And if, you know, I agree, if he isn't found today, if they, you know, if they're having this massive search with dogs and God knows what, or something should be found, shouldn't it? Anyway, I'm going to light a candle for Jay. Oh no, maybe not. God, I'm not having much luck lately with my lighters. I had one stolen off me, and now this one doesn't seem to have any gas in it. So I can't light a candle. I feel awful now about that. I haven't got anything else. Ah, dear me. Yeah, maybe you can all put your candles up on the chat for me, because I can't, unless I can do something with this. Need some more lighters. I need to hide them so that people don't steal them to light their cigarettes. I don't even smoke. I only have lighters for lighting candles. Yeah, maybe Jay just couldn't find anywhere to get a taxi. See, young people, they are impatient. This bus thing definitely makes sense to me. Like if it was me, I would wait the 2 hours for the bus. You know, I'd go and sit in a cafe somewhere or just sit in the shade somewhere and wait, because obviously I wouldn't want to walk for bloody 10 hours back to my resort. But, you know, young people being told at 8 o'clock that the bus is coming at 10. It's like, oh, I'm not waiting for that. Oh, thank you for lighting your candles. Oh, thank you. I'm going to have to get there. I've got a lighter downstairs somewhere. I'm going to have to fish it out. And I'll say, hide it just in case it disappears. I hope that's not a bad omen that I can't light a bloody candle. Anyway, we've all lit one, haven't we? So you're all lighting one, virtual ones. So let's see what today brings. Hope you all have a good Saturday. We'll all be having a better Saturday than Jay's family, of course, because just sitting and waiting for news just must be just unbearable. I just cannot imagine how unbearable it must be. But I'll be back on later. I say I'm going out for lunch, but I'll be back on sometime tonight to give you all an update. I've also got other subjects I want to talk about. I've got some things I want to tell you about Mike Miller, some audio that's been released, etc. I haven't done any videos on Mike Miller for ages. I've been really quite consumed with this case. So yeah, there's other things I want to talk about either today or tomorrow. Anyway, take care as always. Take care of yourself, because you are the most important person. Because if you don't look after yourself, you can't look after anybody else. And remember to live and love wisely and carefully. And until I see you again, as always, may your God go with you. I'm going to put my little video on. Bye.